Good day, everyone. Welcome to Real Conservative News. I'm your host, Nathaniel Rajkumar. Starting off locally here in Trinidad and Tobago. Although the TTPS has justified the ongoing state of emergency by pointing to reductions in murders and violent crimes, at least one detainee who was held during the last SoE has accused them of destroying his life. And of course, the UNC supporters will say, so what, law-abiding citizens aren't affected by this? How you know that? How you know that this individual wasn't framed? How you know this individual wasn't targeted for some personal reason? And many others. And even if somebody is suspected of a crime, you cannot detain them. We are living in a democracy. We are not living in Syria or Lebanon or one of those communist countries like China where you could just hold somebody indefinitely as long as you want. And that's what the government is doing via this SOE. You cannot continue to govern a democratic nation that way. Even criminals have constitutional rights. But you see, the UNC fanatics will never agree with me with that. Never. Because they don't care about democracy, though. They just care about accomplishing their agenda. Having been arrested on November 24, 2025 and released on January 31st, without charge. Listen to people. Without charge. UNC fanatics would totally ignore that part of it. Huh? The man said the allegations have completely destroyed his life. He said, I was arrested and treated like a prisoner, yet I was never charged with any offense. Are you listening? But you see, the UNC people and them feel as though they are righteous citizens here in Trinidad and Tobago, especially those in the middle class and the upper class. Nah, they're living in their mansions, eating dal and rice and singing kuch kuch hota hey. So nothing can happen to them. They are law-abiding citizens, right? And yes, amen. Declining for his name and occupation to be published, fearing further victimization, the Sangre Grande resident denied being involved in any criminal activity. Now that's between him and God. But as I said before, it really could be that he is an innocent man and was just targeted for some other sinister reason. He said despite a search of his home, during which nothing illegal was found, he was detained on a preventative detention order and taken to the maximum security prison, Golden Grove, Piaco, for the duration of his incarceration. You understand what's going on here, people? A man was taken into custody even though there was no evidence to charge him. Police already have the authority to be able to invade people's homes without a warrant because of this continued SOE. But yet they also hold the man in custody for a long period of time, even though there was no evidence to charge him. Referring to the prison conditions as inhumane, and we all know that Trinidad and Tobago's prisons are in a deplorable condition. He said the cells were overcrowded, lacked running water, were poorly ventilated, and were overrun with cockroaches, rats, and mosquitoes. I'm telling you, the human rights organizations of the world are supposed to be visiting Trinidad to see what's taking place. I'm serious about that. What I went through completely broke me down. The physical suffering is one thing, but the mental and psychological damage remains with you, he said. And this shouldn't be happening. This should not be happening in a democracy, people. I'm telling you, I could never understand, especially why in the Indo portion of our population, they tend to only care about democracy to an extent when PNM is in office. Because a lot of them still worship the TTPS even when PNM is in office. But they tend to have a way where they cry out dictatorship when it pertains to certain things. But yet they love to encourage the police and the justice system to abuse and infringe upon the rights of citizens, to have fair trial, and to also be released if there's no evidence to hold them. They talk about fighting crime, but what is taking place here is a crime, people. It's a crime. The reform is a crime against humanity. That is what is taking place. The former detainee claimed he had been forced to sleep on a metal bed, which had left him with constant back pains and headaches. I could imagine. The man said he had found himself sinking into depression while incarcerated. His eating habits had now changed and he was suffering from anxiety as he lived in constant fear that the police could come for him at any time. I don't blame him at all. The man claimed he had recently been released from his banking institution as the allegations continued to hang over his head. Banking institution, you know. So you see what I'm showing you all? You UNC fanatics outside there, those who are lawyers and bankers and stuff like that, they could target you at some point in time. And you know what? I will stay quiet because I will see. You know what? You are a hypocrite all the time. You were giving honor and glory and praise to Prime Minister Kamala Persad, even though she's transforming our nation into a police state because of Roger Alexander and Alistair Guevara. Give thanks and praise to her the day you are arrested and incarcerated as well. Okay, UNC fanatics, especially in the East Indian population. He stated, this is just part of what I'm going through. The after consequence of having not been charged, and that is the destructive thing. Because, guys, you think about it. Once you're arrested by the police, people consider you a criminal, you know, even though you were never charged. They will always say that something was wrong, something was wrong. You might even win your case in court. This man most likely is going to file a lawsuit and win a lot of money. And yet people will still always consider him a criminal from now on because of what the police did. You send someone to prison in the absence of any evidence. I was never given a hearing or treated to an appearance before a magistrate. Why? Because of the SoE. That's what Kamala is doing to our country. And that's what she has been doing to our country for for nearly a year now. For nearly a year now. And that's what the UNC people are supporting. My goodness. You know what? Some of you all would have been still supporting it under the PNM, but the vast majority of you would have been saying, dictatorship, Emperor Thanos, Rowley, and the mighty Morphin Ghanaian, coal pot, bicycle, no ham, no macaroni pie, PNM was still in office. There's hypocrisy in this country. My response, another $1 million lawsuit will result in taxpayers having to pay the bill. And yet UNC supporters continue to chant, good job, officers. That's when you care more about politics than democracy and people's constitutional rights. As I said before, even criminals, even suspects have constitutional rights. But you see, especially once again, within the East Indian population, they don't care about that, you know. They find that police should be able to have the rights to go into any community and just shoot and kill anybody once they consider them a criminal. Especially, and I'm going to say this in my video, especially in PNM constituencies. They don't care. Sometimes yes, I don't wonder if UNC people don't care if police go into a whole PNM constituency and just shoot up and kill everybody. I don't wonder. You really have to wonder. Bear in mind, I don't support the PNM at all. And you could hear that. I said mighty Morphin Ghanaian, coal pot, bicycle, PNM, the most destructive, evil political party we have in Trinidad and Tobago, but UNC is becoming the same way as well. The incompetent and corrupt TTPS barely ever wins a case in court. Go and Google it for yourself and you will see. You might want to say, I line, go and Google it. But in spite of this statistical fact, neither the DPP nor these officers are ever held accountable for their actions. You understand what I'm saying here? A whole set of cases are always thrown out. And no one says, no one in authority, the Prime Minister, nobody says, but how come the DPP continues to approve for these cases, for these people to be charged? And even though you're looking at this evidence and you're realizing something wrong, and yet I can remember in certain cases, including, you remember when the young woman, I think the young lady was found and buried in her family's home? Over and over again, the DPP said, no, go back and get more evidence for me. You could tell the police to go back and get more evidence in a case where a human body was found in the family's yard. But in a lot of other cases, like in the Kaya Sealy case, as you get that evidence, bam, yeah, charge her one time. NDPP? Alrighty then. So I know said the incompetent and corrupt TTPS barely ever wins a case in court, but in spite of this statistical fact, neither the DPP nor these officers are ever held accountable for their actions. You UNC fanatics are now in the same category as PNM patriots. I telling you all plainly, do not come and use the race card in 2030 when you lose the elections. You know. Don't say, well, you know, oh God, you see them PNM people again, they're going back and voting for their own. And have those that voted for, will continue to vote for their own. We all know that. But think about it. Last year, 1/3 of the PNM people stayed home. They decided they were not going to vote for their own because they were fed up of being treated like as though they were peasants, as though they didn't belong in the society by their own. So they stayed home. And then the swing voters, a lot are African Trinis, Afro Trinis. You saw them, I saw them all in Sangre Grande, dancing and proud, wearing the yellow jersey, really believing that when UNC wins, everybody wins. They really thought that the yellow party was coming to serve them, like how they used to serve them in the 90s and how they served them between 2010 and 2015. They really thought so. So they put on their yellow jersey and felt proud to be UNC, posting it all on social media. And what you turn around and do them now? You turn around and trying to label them as agitators and criminals, because they're standing up for justice and saying that the TTPS needs to be reformed and the TTPS needs to be held accountable for extrajudicial killings. You targeted a young woman and her mother simply because they are organizing peaceful protests, stuff that we in the UNC supported for years. The Ground Report pushback movement held a whole lot of protests. And people like Anna Munsami and others never opposed it and never said, no, don't protest, obey the law, obey the laws of the land and obey the instructions of the police. No. You never hear Anna Munsami and others call out and condemn the protest back then, you know. Nah, because Rowley must go. But now she precious Kamala in office. You don't hear Anna Munsami encouraging anybody to protest anymore, you know. You don't hear David Welch encouraging anybody to protest anymore, you know. You barely hear, you don't even hear Lennox Smith encouraging anybody to protest anymore. The only man you hear a little bit saying, you know what, he kind of way understand is Andy Williams. And yet he isn't passionate about it anymore the way he was when Rowley was in office. Andy Williams, you don't understand, you're not realizing it. Hopefully you will. Hopefully you will, or your mind and your eyes will open. The UNC isn't for you. The UNC isn't for you. They are for themselves. If they really cared about you, Andy Williams, in the first place, they would have chosen you to be the representative for Toko Sangre Grande. They take Wayne Sturgeon instead of a man who not live in Sangre Grande to represent that constituency. Well, not my constituency. I'm coming to Manzanilla, but still. Right in my region, in my area. That is what they did, you, Andy Williams. Don't blindly support any political party. Don't support anybody because of race, but don't support it because of any party loyalty either. Start to hold them accountable. You have a voice, and you're well known throughout Trinidad and Tobago, unlike me. I just have a few viewers here, there, and everywhere. You have thousands of viewers all over Trinidad and Tobago. Use your voice for the right thing, Andy Williams. And others outside there who are activists, like Jason De Silva, who continues to stand up for the right thing. I don't always agree with Jason De Silva, but he's standing up for the poor people, and I love that. He's standing up for the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. He does not care about race, my people. He does not care about race, because when people talking a certain race talk, he just tell them plain, I don't want to hear that or wrong me. So nobody could accuse Jason De Silva about any race thing and any PNM thing or anything like that. People, we need to stand up and defend our democracy. We are all Trinidadians, no matter whether you're Afro, whether you're Indo, whether you're mixed, whether you're Chinese, whether you're white. We are all Trinidadians at the end of the day, and we should all value our democratic rights.
Trinidad and Tobago official weather report for Monday, June 22, 2026. On Monday, June 22, 2026, Trinidad and Tobago will experience mainly sunny, hazy, and at times breezy conditions during the day, with a maximum temperature of 31 degrees Celsius to 33 degrees Celsius. The night will stay mostly fair and hazy, with temperatures dropping to a minimum of 24 degrees Celsius to 25 degrees Celsius, though increased cloudiness and showers are expected to move in mainly after midnight. An official outlook from the Trinidad and Tobago Meteorological Service highlights a moderate concentration of Saharan dust in the atmosphere. Sensitive individuals are advised to take necessary precautions. Atmospheric and marine conditions. Humidity ranges from 65% to 90%. Wind is blowing from the northeast to east to southeast at 08 to 40 kilometers per hour. The heat index is expected to feel like 34 degrees Celsius during peak afternoon hours. Seas will see moderate conditions with open water waves hitting 2.0 meters to 2.5 meters. Sheltered areas will stay between 1.0 meters to 1.5 meters but can become occasionally choppy.
Regional news now. Stakeholders of the Lima Regional Hospital in Guyana on Saturday met to advance discussions aimed at enhancing healthcare services and strengthening the institution's governance framework. Now, that is a country, and as a leader who is doing quite well there in Guyana, President Irfan Ali. I always say it, I don't trust anybody. The Bible says trust no man. So I don't trust Irfan Ali either. But from what I see, he's doing quite well. Much better than most of the other leaders in our Caribbean region. But in the world by extension. The discussions took place during a meeting among ministers within the Ministry of Public Works, Mandanlal Ramraj, regional leaders and members of the Lima Regional Hospital Board, as they sought to chart the way forward for the institution. The meeting focused on strengthening governance, improving operational efficiency, and ensuring that systems are in place to support the delivery of quality healthcare services to residents of Region 2 and surrounding communities. Minister within the Ministry of Public Works, Mandanlal Ramraj, said the engagement aligns with the vision of President Dr. Irfan Ali, whose administration continues to prioritize improvements in the health sector through significant investments in infrastructure, human resources, technology, and institutional development. And this is not about any election gimmick, because he already won the election. He didn't have to be doing this. The investments are aimed at ensuring that citizens across Guyana receive better health care, services, and improved health outcomes. Minister Ramraj said, "I'm so proud of my grandfather's homeland." Yeah, he left Guyana when he was young, but nevertheless, if he was alive today, I believe my grandfather would have been very proud of his homeland as well. And he was a white man, Scottish and Irish. But nevertheless, Guyana was his homeland. During the discussions, the minister emphasized the importance of effective systems and strong management structures in achieving the government's healthcare goals. We want to ensure that the systems here at Lima function effectively. Government has invested significantly in regional hospitals, and it is our responsibility to ensure that the necessary systems are in place with a clear mandate to guide operations, he stated. Yeah, that's the responsibility of the government and state officials. Ramraj further explained that regular reviews of governance and management structures are critical to ensuring that healthcare institutions remain efficient, responsive, and capable of meeting the evolving needs of the public. According to the minister, strong governance enables hospitals to manage resources effectively, maintain high standards of patient care, and ensure transparency in decision making. Jamaica's government plans to dualize 2 heavily trafficked roads in Kingston in a move that could ease congestion amid increased housing and commercial development along one of the capital's busiest corridors. Now, that is some good news. The works include upgrading a 2.8-kilometer stretch comprising East Kings House Road and Lady Musgrave Road. What a name, Musgrave. It will be widened from 2 lanes to 4. Minister without portfolio in the Ministry of Economic Growth and Infrastructure Development, Robert Morgan, said in a summary provided to the Financial Gleaner. Now, the Jamaica Gleaner, of course, in Jamaica. The works were initially planned back in 2022. Well, at least it's getting done, eh? Better late than never. But wow. The works also includes drainage improvements, widening of 3 box culverts along the route, water and sewerage upgrades, installation of fiber optic ducts for broadband connectivity, turning lanes at key intersections, provision of new traffic signals with pedestrian facilities. That's really important for the pedestrians' safety especially. provision of curbed grass median barrier, and raised concrete sidewalks, installation of street lighting, like what we need here in Lindsay Street, markings and signage, and rationalizing of access points and U-turns along the corridor, the brief stated. Morgan said final cabinet approval via the Ministry of Finance and Public Service for the project to enter the public sector investment program is expected by August 31st, 2026. Well, let's hope it ends up at least coming in, being completed sometime early next year, and not next, 4 years again. All right? Okay, then. International news now. President Donald Trump recently issued a harsh warning to Iran after the country threatened to shut down the Strait of Hormuz. You really feel Iran cares about anything you say anymore? But you really feel they care about if you strike a few little buildings in their country? They don't realize already that you are just a talker. You will never finish the job. Iran claimed it was closing the strategic shipping lane because the United States and Israel broke a recent peace agreement by continuing military strikes. Yeah, what they wouldn't tell, what the Kakash media wouldn't tell you all, is that it wasn't Israel that broke any sort of agreement. And Israel was never part of the agreement in the first place. But Hezbollah was the one that was attacking Israel, and they retaliated. And Israel has made it clear they are not leaving Lebanon because they are not going to allow the Hezbollah terrorists to reach close to the Israeli border in order to attack citizens in their country. In response, Trump warned Iran negotiators that their country would face total destruction if they went through with the closure. They hear that over and over again. How much time you will tell them that? And it never happens. And you're not crazy enough in the first place to destroy the whole of Iran because you will be killing millions of innocent people. That's the thing about you, Trump. You don't ever make sense when you're talking anyhow, especially recently. Because no one, even Israel, no one wants you to destroy the whole of Iran. What they want you to do is dismantle and destroy the Ayatollah radical regime and the IRGC, not the people of Iran. I was going to say something, but let me refrain from doing so. The wordings I was going to use. He also posted a 48-hour ultimatum on social media. How much time you all get them 48-hour ultimatums with Trump? And then he's extended, threatening to bomb and destroy Iran's major power plants if the water passage is not kept completely open. You feel they care about that, Trump? Bomb it! All they know, you'll just come back afterwards and want another negotiation. While American military officials say that ships are still moving safely through the area, Trump suggested that the United States might take total control of the waterway. He would love that. He would love that. He proposed that the U.S. military could guard the strait but demand 20% of the oil or charge shipping fees to other countries in return, instead of just destroying, conquering, removing the IRGC and the Ayatollah from office. You want to just, in other words, do exactly what they are doing and charge people money. You see what you're doing, Trump? You behaving just like them. The people want to have the rights for free passageway through the Strait of Hormuz. You told everyone that people have the rights, and now you telling them, well, we will guard it for you, but we will charge you a fee. So you're doing just like the Iranians. The Iranians also say that. We will guard it for you, we will guard your ships from our military so that you can have a free passageway to go to your destination. Lord have mercy. I'm telling you, this man is under the spirit of the Antichrist, Donald Trump. He has done some good. I will always say that. I just said that up to this morning in a comment on the Amr Safati's post. He does some good. And you can give credit when credit is due, even though you don't trust someone. And I will continue to give credit when credit is due, whether it pertains to Kamala or whether it pertains to Trump. But I'm not going to trust people who I see have become the enemy of the people in general. It's simply unbelievable. In a 5-star hotel near Lucerne, Switzerland, Qataris, Pakistanis, Iranians, and Americans are sitting together to discuss what Israel is allowed to do along its own border with Lebanon. And you know who isn't present there? Israel. Yet the Lord has already spoken concerning those who presume to decide the fate of his land, his people. And I will enter into judgment with them there on account of my people, my heritage, Israel, whom they scattered among the nations. You know, like when people love to say how Israel was just a people and not a nation? God himself spoke about the land of Israel, the nation of Israel, the kingdom of Israel. They also divided up my land. Joel chapter 3, verse 2. History may be shaped in luxury hotels and conference rooms, but the final verdict belongs to the God of Israel. And this was posted by, a Messianic Jew and Bible teacher, Amir Safati.
Bible quote of the day. Daniel 12:1-3 NIV. At that time Michael, the great prince who protects your people, will arise. There will be a time of distress such as has not happened from the beginning of nations until then. But at that time your people, everyone whose name is found written in the book, will be delivered. Multitudes who sleep in the dust of the earth will awake, some to everlasting life, others to shame and everlasting contempt. Those who are wise will shine like the brightness of the heavens, and those who lead many to righteousness, like the stars forever and ever.
Folks, that brings us to the end of today's news report. Thanks again to everyone who continues to support my content. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Stay blessed and stay safe, most of all. In Jesus' name.